Hey guys, welcome to another video and thanks for clicking on this one. Happy New Year to you wherever you are. I hope 2025 gives you the opportunities you're looking for, whether it's to become a pilot, to start your training, to get your training done, wherever you are in the phase of achieving your goals or your aviation goals, to be specific. So let's just talk about this opportunity that is about to open up. And I think a lot of you already know which one I'm going to be talking about, because I already gave you this information in the past about when it's going to open and the things you should be doing in order to position yourself for success. Now, this program isn't something that I'm covering for the first time. So I have made a ton of videos on the program. You can always check out the playlist below for more information. Now remember, those videos might be referring to the previous applications, and some of the references that I may have made could be maybe outdated or could be slightly different now. So just keep in mind that there might be some changes, and you should of course do your own due diligence. But the bottom line is the core of the information that was shared in those videos remain. And whether it's interview tips, whether it's preparation tips, whether it's the testing taking tips, things like that, right? All those assessments that you have to take, they generally remain the same. Yeah, the questions might change, but at the end of the day, what they are looking for are your abilities, right? So if you can work on your abilities, and I hope that you have been doing that already, you are likely going to do well. The program I'm talking about is a TUI MPL program for cadet pilots, okay? And the application opens on the 6th of January. So at the recording of this video, it's about 2 days from now. Like I said, I've made tons of video. This program opened in 2023, 2024. And if you have applied in the past, maybe you want to try it again this time around. Last year, I believe around 30 people or so were selected. So that gives you an idea of how competitive this program is likely going to be. And I'm happy to say that some of the people that I maybe shared my tips with found them very useful. Some of them got selected. However, there were some that actually got to the stage 5s and stage 4s that went far in the process. So the point here is there are no guarantees that you would get the results that you want, but it would help you advance in the stages if you put them to use, if you apply them and you do your part. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy on YouTube sharing my experiences, because I've gone through different programs, assessments and interviews and all this stuff in the past. And those experiences have helped me achieve my own goals and have helped me to get to this stage. I love to share my experiences and share my knowledge with the people that are coming up, because I know how closed this industry is to people that are outside. So if you are not in the aviation industry just yet, I know that you may not understand how things really work. You may be coming from a different industry. Maybe you're in finance, maybe you're in IT, maybe you were a clerk somewhere working a different type of job entirely, but it's often a dream of yours to achieve your goal of becoming a pilot, whether it's a corporate pilot, whether it's an airline pilot, whether it's just to even fly yourself. There are different options, there are different avenues. And the point here is that by me sharing these tips and experiences, it has changed a lot of people's lives. And I hope that it changes your own life as well. So what am I trying to say here? There are tons of tips, there are tons of resources online. You can often find a lot of resources online, but it's often beneficial to get it also from people that are maybe in the industry. So that would help you. So let's talk about this MPL program quickly. Like I said, it opens on the 6th of January. It closes on the 31st of January. One of the first things that you will likely be doing when this application opens really is around your CV, answering some questions, making sure you qualify for the program, making sure that the age requirements are met, the education requirements are met, things of that nature. And at the end of it, your CV will be submitted. And sometimes you may have some questions to answer. You may have to write an essay. You may have to write something about your understanding of the business model of TUI, or you may have to write something about in the lines of why you want to become a pilot. And what is the purpose of all of this? This is really testing your understanding of the business, okay, to the testing it's also testing your ability and your motivation. Okay, so your ability to write, okay, communicate and all that, but also your motivation to become a pilot, because that is very important. This is a sponsored program that you would be sent to training. They will cover the cost of training, and then there's a job waiting for you at the end of training with pay. So you get paid some money for a certain number of years before you get the normal salary, because there's going to be you're going to be on a reduced pay. The opportunity is great for those that may not have the ability to fund their training, but like I said, there's always the aspect of competition going through the process. Once you get through the online assessments, okay, because once you start the application and once you submit it, the next things that opens up for you will most likely be the assessment you have to take, the computer assessment you will take at home. So some of them will include the logical reasoning test and the likes. All those assessments are things that you should be familiar with, especially if you've done this in the past. If you haven't done those assessments in the past, I always advise that you use websites like PASS. I think there should be a link below at the bottom of this video. With PASS, you have the ability to kind of get your hands into some of these programs, and they offer different packages for different airlines. But the point here is most of them actually do offer similar tests, although there are different testing packages that are out there, like the Cadet and the likes and Mollyhawk and all that. But the point here is, by you using some of this testing preps out there, they kind of get your feet wet. They give you some idea of what to look for. And to be honest, sometimes you end up taking those exact tests in the assessment. So doing your own studies, taking the time to practice those things well in advance can give you a bit of advantage, because now they are not new to you. They are not things that are strange to you, and you've already had the opportunity to practice. Okay, so that would help. The other thing that I always advise people to do, okay, is when it comes to the aspect of CVs, your CV is one of the first thing that they would see. Now, sometimes the automated system will go through to scan through the CV, okay, the applicant tracking system, and that can so often maybe shortlist the people that have met certain requirements, whether it's the keywords that they are looking for, or whether it's the experiences they are looking for, whether it's the pilot competencies they're looking for, things of that nature, right? Those things can end up being the reason why you either get rejected or get accepted. Of course, a key part is to even meet the requirements, like I've already mentioned at the beginning of this video. So moving your CV through that first stage of getting shortlisted will benefit your progress, right? Will be beneficial to your progress. So if you can make sure that your CV is well done, well put together, that would help. Now, a lot of times you can make a CV get through the automated system. Why? Because if you just throw in things around and put in the right stuff, you go through it successfully. But if that CV isn't well made, it could end up being a problem for you down the line. So let me give you what I mean. Let's assume that you submitted a 5-page CV. By the time you get to your interview, okay, the person that has to look through your CV can get a little bit overwhelmed by the fact that you have 5 pages. They're trying to interview a ton of people, in maybe 10, maybe 15 people that day, and they're short on time. And now you've submitted this book, okay, called CV. That could be a problem. So I would always advise that, your CV shouldn't be more than 2 pages long. And I've actually made a guide that is free. You can check it out below as well, giving my recommendations on CV making and what you should look out for. But I always encourage you, get it looked at by a professional. That can give you some the cost of getting this program or getting through this program can offset any cost you spend in making sure things are done properly. So spend the time to make a good CV. Have somebody, a professional, if you have a friend, if you have to use a paid service, whatever that may be, get it done, get it looked at get a second opinion from a professional that maybe is in the aviation industry to help you look at it. Once you get through the CV phase, I would say that you also consider, a 2-page CV, well put together. Apply the pilot competencies that we talk about. If you don't know what pilot competencies are, again, these are things that you should already know. But if you don't know what they are, a Google search will help you. But if you're interested, there's a link below as well for that takes you to a resource page that you can, for I think it's like $10. It's going to save you the time of trying to do research online, and especially how these pilot competencies apply to cadet programs. So that is the key thing. It's not just pilot competencies when you're flying an airline. No, I'm talking about how it applies to somebody that is new trying to go through a cadet program. That is what this has been tailored for. So you can check it out below as well. All the resources are there to help you. Okay, now it's up to you to put it to use. It's up to you to take advantage of them and use them. No pressure at all. Now, the next thing I will say is assessments. Okay, when it comes to taking assessments, the online assessments are things that, like I said, you can prepare for. But when you go in for your stage 4, I believe that's where you end up taking some of these written assessments again, where you do like a math test, and then you are given like a package that you have to go through prior to the day of the assessment. Those things are things that you can start working towards as well right now. Why? Because the math, according to the previous experience, was one of the difficult areas that most people struggled with. And that is because, honestly, I don't know what it was, but because I haven't taken it myself, I don't know what the questions are like. I have no idea. But I'm just trying to tell you that a lot of them struggled with the math aspect. So if you can get your hands on some of these math materials out there for GCSE levels anyway, and start practicing them, just taking the time to practice them slowly, that would help. The other area that would need some work is interviews. Okay, those are things that you can start to research, but don't jump ahead of yourself, because you have to go through this in stages. But having that time well in advance to start thinking about your experiences and how you can link them with pilot competencies and how you can tie them to the job of being a pilot will give you another advantage. And the fact that you've taken the time to digest the information and maybe even think about it will help. And I always encourage you that as you are thinking, as you are studying, as you're doing your research, take notes, because those notes will become very useful for you down the line. Don't forget that this is an opportunity that is open to everybody that meets those requirements. So you may have thousands, and you will have thousands of people applying at the beginning of this process. And sometimes you might even have technical difficulties getting through the website. That is generally the case because you have a lot of people applying. So manage your expectations as you go through this. Know that it's going to be competitive. I wish you the best of luck. If you have questions, if you have anything that you want to ask, you need some clarification to, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. That's the best way I can chat with you. Now, remember, I may not reply right away, so just be patient with me, but I would eventually get back to you. And I wish you the best of luck. Know that this is an opportunity. If this doesn't work out, the next one is going to open up would be the next program that will open up is the British Airways program as well, the Speedbird program. That is also a great one to go for. But remember, if TUI is the airline you want to be with, or is the TUI airline, is it? Okay, I think I said that correctly. Is the airline you want to work for, then you should put in your best and hopefully you get the result that you want. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.